beautiful, talented, iconic. These are all words to describe many of the starlets that appeared in films in the 1970s. They'd sell out movie theaters and have their posters plastered on walls. But a lot's changed since the 70s, including these young beauties. Let's see how they've changed between then and now. Number 1. Candice Bergen. Candice Bergen was a famous fashion model in the 1960s and 1970s, even landing herself on major magazine covers like Vogue. In the 1980s, she began a successful acting career that she's still keeping up, although normally she's casted as stuck-up, wealthy, and overbearing motherly figures. Number 2. Jane Seymour. Jane Seymour's claim to fame was when she became a Bond girl in the 1973 film Live and Let Die. She also became an author, having written 4 novels and co-written a series of children's books with James Keach. She has since become a celebrity ambassador for the non-profit Child Help. The organization is dedicated to helping save children subjected to neglect or abuse. Number 3. Goldie Hawn. Goldie Hawn appeared in 9 films in just the 1970s, and she became an Academy Award and Golden Globe in 1969 for her part in the movie Cactus Flower. She continued acting all the way into the 90s before switching to executive producer roles in the early 2000s. Number 4. Pam Grier. The most popular of Pam Grier's 8 roles in the 1970s was as Foxy Brown in the film of the same name. She continued acting all the way through to the early 2000s until she opted to stop acting to pursue her personal goals. By 2011, she actually finished 2 doctoral programs and founded the Pam Grier Community Garden and Education Center. Number 5. Cher. Cher doesn't look like she's aged a day since 1970. She entertained 30 million viewers every week on the Sonny and Cher Hour. She also had a chart-topping solo career in the music industry. She still tours in the present with her timeless style and unmatched music. Number 6. Bo Derek. Bo Derek became famous after starring in the 1979 film 10. She just as quickly became an American sex symbol, having released a series of posters of her in a swimsuit with braided hair. Her acting career and sex appeal stayed strong all the way up until the early 2000s. Number 7. Faye Dunaway. Faye Dunaway started acting on Broadway in the 1960s, but soon progressed to the silver screen. In 1967, she got her big break in Bonnie and Clyde, and later starred in 10 other movies in the 1970s. Over the course of her career, she's managed to fill up her trophy case with many awards in the field of acting. Number 8. Erin Gray. Erin Gray began modeling at only age 15, becoming one of America's top TV models by the mid-1970s. She had contracts with L'Oreal and Bloomingdale's before she started acting, and through the decades, she starred in many films and TV series. Number 9. Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks joined Fleetwood Mac in 1975 and helped the band sell 40 million albums. Her unique vocal style also helped her launch a successful solo career. Her first album, Belladonna, went platinum in 3 months. She would go on to make 8 more albums of equal renown. She's still producing music today. Number 10. Jaclyn Smith. Jaclyn Smith's rise to fame came from her role in Charlie's Angels in 1976. She's mostly appeared in TV movies and shows since then, including a few bigger gigs on CSI, Crime Scene Investigation and Law & Order Special Victims Unit. She's also a businesswoman, having launched a clothing line in 1980s and a wig line in 2008. Number 11. Sally Field. Sally Field made it big in a show called The Girl with Something Extra in 1973 to 1974. Then in the late 1970s, she migrated to the big screen. In 1979, she even won an Academy Award for her role in Norma Ray. In addition to acting, over the past few years, Field has been loudly championing women's rights. Number 12. Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton first began her music career in the 1960s. Although her first chart topper was with Jolene in the 1970s, of course, with so much success from that song, she's re-released it and performed it with Pentatonix on The Voice. Earlier on in her career, Dolly Parton also did some modeling for Playboy, and it seems as though she hasn't aged much since then. Number 13. Diane Keaton. Diane Keaton's first major role came when she appeared in The Godfather, and subsequent appearances in films with Woody Allen helped catapult her to stardom. She even won an Academy Award for Best Actress for her role in Annie Hall, and it certainly wasn't her first award. She's still starring in film projects today. Number 14. Sybil Shepherd. Sybil Shepherd first began modeling as a teenager. It was her appearance on the Glamour magazine cover that helped her land her first movie role in The Last Picture Show. She appeared in other roles throughout the 1970s and into the 1980s as well. Number 15, Barbi Benton. At 18 years old, Barbi Benton co-hosted Playboy After Dark at 18 years old. During her modeling career, she also made the cover of Playboy 4 times. In 1975, she recorded a top 5 Billboard hit and appeared in a few movies and television shows throughout the 1970s and 1980s. Number 16, Catherine Bach. Catherine Bach portrayed Daisy Duke in the film The Dukes of Hazzard. A fun fact, while filming the movie, her legs were actually so important that they were insured for $1 million. A show poster she posed for also sold 5 million copies. Number 17, Morgan Fairchild. Patsy Ann McClenny, better known by the stage name Morgan Fairchild, moved into the spotlight thanks to her role in Search for Tomorrow. She played Jennifer Pace and was able to get a lot of work afterwards. Happy Days, Kojak, and Dallas were all shows she starred in. Her most famous role was in the 80s in Flamingo Road. Number 18, Kim Basinger. Kim Basinger started as a model, but after garnering much success as one she transitioned into acting, she first appeared Gemini Man and continued getting roles into the 70s and 80s. She's continued acting into the present, both with full roles and more minor cameos, and she's also still just as beautiful as she was back in the day. Number 19, Julie Andrews. Julie Andrews' most famous role was as Mary Poppins in the film of the same name. Her beautiful singing voice was lended to many musicals, and she continued to appear in many projects throughout her life. While the amount of projects she's taken on has slowed down more recently, she still gets work. Number 20, Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep is perhaps one of the most celebrated actresses of our time. She's been nominated for and won numerous awards, including Oscar and Golden Globes. But before all that, she started on Broadway in the 70s. She later moved on to film when she appeared in the TV movie Deadliest Season, and the rest was history. She's still acting today.